Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of CUFC TV. This one's solely been dedicated to the life of Luke Cripps and his memory. This Saturday the 2nd of April at 4:30 we're versing Tilford Zebras in the Cripper Cup at Wentworth Park. I only had the pleasure of meeting Luke on a couple of occasions through my brother, but I've heard so many great stories about him over the last couple of weeks. The Cripper Cup was contested in 2013 for the first time at Wentworth Park on a chilly August Saturday night. I remember we were up against a very strong Zebras outfit that had the likes of Grant Malcolm, Ethan Ingles, Nick McDonald, Kieran Seidler. So it's pretty strong. They were sitting in comfortable second on the ladder at the time. Rowan Heggie, matchday captain, brought us into the rooms for Ronnie's game plan speech. He'd finished that. Rowan got us in very, very close, gave us his speech, a bit about the life of Luke and what he was like and how he wanted us to play. Heggie told us Luke would be our 12th player of the park that night. I really feel like he was. The whole team had goosebumps straight after this speech. We were all ready to go. I remember we went down 1-0 to an Ethan Ingles penalty, but the boys flew home in the only way Clarence know how, to run away with 6 goals to their 1. I visited some players this week to ask them a few questions about Luke's life, and here it is. Cheers, guys. If you could describe Luke in one word, what would it be?
Legend.
For me, selfless. No more really needs to be said.
If I was going to describe Luke in one word, I'd probably have to go with adventurous.
Outgoing.
One word. Tough. Competitor. One or the other.
What was it like to share a change room with Luke?
To talk about what he was like in the change rooms, he was a real good motivator, had really good leadership skills, but he was also very fun and relaxed. You just never want to end up standing next to him in the showers afterwards, because he always try and end up whipping you with a towel.
I can go one step further. I can say what it was like to share a bed with Luke. I remember one time we came back from Devonport. I think we had a couple on the bus on the way back, a couple to say the least, and a few of the young pups of the team didn't have anywhere to stay, so Luke offered up his room at his house, and his fiancée at the time, Alison, came home from work at about 3:30 a.m, and she was relegated to the couch. Crippo said, "No, the boys get it tonight." So he just put everyone before himself. He was just a ridiculously nice guy and just looked after all us young kids when we were at Clarence when he was sort of the king of the elder statesmen.
He would always get the boys up and about before the game in the change room with a laugh or a joke, but as it came closer to the start of the match, it would be all systems go.
Luke was always thoughtful and funny, always the life of the party, always the organiser, always liked by his peers.
Oh, what can I say? The man brought his own ore. As soon as he walked into the change rooms, you knew he was there. He meant business, but he was also a larrikin at heart. So it was never an awkward moment with him, and it was never awkward in the change rooms. He always ensured that every player was there and there to play. But he would also make sure that everyone had that great vibe. There was no need for music to try and G us up. He brought that just in his own persona.
As a player, how would you have described him?
As a player, he was a competitor, never gave an inch, always gave everything he had for whatever team he was playing for. Stuck up for his mates, never let a man down when the time came. He was always there to put his hand up and fight for his fellow teammates.
A natural leader, both on and off the park. You could always look to Crippo for inspiration, getting the boys up and about on game day.
As a player, definitely one of the more unorthodox techniques you'll ever see. Had this sort of weird running style where he looked like he had a pole up his ass, but geez, he could tackle like the best of them. And he managed to end up scoring a hell of a lot of goals on his head too. He used to get that big head in the way. So, no, but he's obviously a fantastic bloke and someone I admired greatly.
Tenacious. He would just do anything for his teammates. The ultimate team player. He was a captain through and through.
As a player, it's really hard to sum him up in just a couple of words. It was more about how he went about his business. He would win those 50-50 balls. He would win all those challenges, and it wasn't just enough to win that battle. He would go on and try and win the next battle and the battle after that. And it was all about his attitude, not towards the game, that really made him stand out. But for me, it was his attitude towards the other players, especially me, and I know a few others. He never let anyone feel out of place in the game and in the team. He would ensure that he'd grab everyone, wrap their arm around their shoulder and be like, mate, come on in, get amongst us, get on board. And that, I think, within itself, you don't have a player like that within the club, it really doesn't... You can see cracks within the team, and he'd ensure that they would be sealed by really making the unit gel as a team and gel as a group. He was a selfless man. He'd put others before himself on the pitch and always look out for all his teammates, the coach. Just phenomenal player and a phenomenal man.
I hope you enjoyed that reflection. See you at the Challenge League game at 2:30, Wentworth Park. 4:30 for the PS4 NPL Tasmania Luke Cripps Cup, and 6:30 for the Women's PFD Super League. After the women's game, there will be a live band in the club room, so stay around and have a beer. Cheers, guys.